Like, yo, I am speechless right now to even think Sony went and made what looks like is the perfect camera with no usability issues. Like, I don't even know. I seriously don't know how I'm gonna approach this video without sounding like I've been paid by Sony or I'm some crazy Sony fanboy, but oh well, let's get this done because seriously, I am far way too impressed and excited not to share my thoughts on finally what is the official announcement of the unicorn camera that we've been waiting for 5 years, the Sony A7S Mark III. Man, let's get into it, let's talk about it. Now, if this camera announcement doesn't tell you that 2020 is the year of cameras, then honestly, like, I don't know what you're watching, I don't know what you're thinking, and I don't know what will, but you know what? As we kick off this video, before I start to show you all the specs on screen and not bore you with the numbers and talking and just yapping on and whatnot, I'm gonna hit you with the key takes for what I really think stood out to me from the jump, especially gearing towards a hybrid shooter like myself who is heavily more geared towards video and does photography on the side. The Sony A7S III is near enough the best camera for video to purchase before moving to a dedicated video cinema camera for sure. Like, look, I'm hyped here, but you know what? Let me hit you with the body design first of the camera. Yes, it definitely looks like a full-frame Sony mirrorless camera purely based on the body design language, and it sits much closer looking to the Sony A7R Mark IV, but here it is, finally, a full-size HDMI port. And look, it's not just any HDMI port, you know. This is the first camera for this generation that I know of that sports a HDMI 2.1 port, and we will get down later as to why this is important to the capabilities of what this brings now and the future of this camera going forward. Finally, the first full-frame Sony mirrorless camera with a fully articulating flip touchscreen for the UI, completely controlled on the LCD. Like, yo, folks, so let's just take a minute here, right? They listened. Yes, I said listened twice because this is a big deal finally for Sony for them to do this. Backed by a whole new UI design for the interface. The port doors, they redesigned. They're open on hinges, which move away and don't block or disturb your cables. And then you've got a cable cage that also comes with it that allows you to clamp it at 3 points to make sure that your cables and your connections are even more stable. Like, yeah. Is this really, like, guys, I just need to take a minute. Is this really Sony here? Because again, I hope someone didn't give them a 1st of April Fool's memo, because we are not in the mood to get trolled. This is seeming too good to be true so far. We've also got a familiar looking redesigned button layout with a better grip as well, which obviously seems like it's going to be way better in hand when it comes to the camera feeling ergonomically, which is great to see for real. Obviously, I'm not in a privileged position to be there to be able to have used the camera, but from the outside looking in on my peasant flex, like, say the AF needed reworking and improving, Sony just went and guess what? Did that, right? From UI options for speed and tracking, AF on functions for the hardware buttons, and overall AF performance. Seriously, man, this is actually hard for me to get my head around it. Like, they just improved it because they knew they could. I like that. And the final major piece of the body design, which in my personal opinion makes this the best solution that I've seen from any camera in this space, is definitely the storage media compatibility and configuration. Now check this, let's start this off, yeah? Dual card slots, check. But it's not just that, right? Both these card slots support the new CF Express Type A slot, which is a much smaller standard versus the Type B, but it's still crazy fast versus the SD card standards that we've been used to from before. And you know what? Guess damn what? The slots are both backwards compatible with the max speed of the UHS 2 SD card slots that we have right now. No, let me get out. No, actually, you know what? Let me not get out. Let me come back. This level of upgrades, but also the choice to use high-speed cards, which almost all the recording modes that are supported, you're able to do this on the SD card. This is so prosumer that, honestly, Sony deserves all the accolades for how they've been able to do the storage media configurations here. You still have support for the great Z-type batteries that was first introduced on the Sony A7R III and looks to be getting great results as we can see so far. Now, I want to drop my favorite part of it all, especially as a video shooter, is drum roll, the recording modes, yes. And for sure, Sony must have been in a boardroom on that Doctor Strange energy and seriously wanted to create what I feel like is the 4K endgame camera for this generation, especially for the mirrorless hybrid cameras for sure. We are looking, let me just, you know, flex the neck. And then let's break it down. We are looking at an all-new 12.1 megapixel full frame sensor, which shoots 422 10-bit in, yes guys, all of the recording modes, all of them. You've got 4K UHD up to 120p, 120 frames a second. But it's not just how it's been done, right? It's been done with audio and it's shot as individual frames at up to 280 megabits per second with continuously shooting. And guess what? With no recording limit. No recording limit. Done. Like, done. It's completely done. And I'm saying this can all be done to a fast V90 spec SD. Man, this is not like, this is actually just nuts and wild and funny just saying this all out loud. Like, I'm vibing right now. I'm in my vibing mode because this is much. This is complete much, man. This is such a good look from Sony. I don't even know if it's worth me even going into the other specs, but you know what, yeah? Check this. Full high definition FHD up to 240 frames a second, but quick disclaimer, from what I've been told and what I've seen, that the 120p 4K mode, as well as this mode, does apply a 1.1x crop. But you know what? 1.8 in that extreme mode with that very, very slight crop, you're not really going to notice much of a difference. And guess what? Still no recording limit on top of that. So you can use the full autofocus as well in all of the shooting modes. Come off it. Again, the standard full frame affairs with 4K UHD up to 24 frames a second, 25 frames a second, 30p, and now as well 60 frames a second, as well with all the AF options and 42 10-bit across the board. But also, it's the codecs and the compression techniques with finally a new all-I, all-intra bass codec which can push bit rates up to 600 megabits per second internally. You know what, yeah? As this is not even enough already, yeah, check this. Announced already as of today from Atomos that you will be getting ProRes RAW external RAW recording to the Ninja V over the full-size HDMI port on release for free. And because this is a full-size HDMI port at 2.1 spec, you are getting 16-bit RAW out max capabilities that no recorder right now, not even a Ninja V, can do this. So this is some next level future compatibility stuff here for real. Like, man, I can't even say any much anymore, man. You know, I'm just gonna throw some numbers on the screen so you guys can see it. Let's do another couple of quickfire stuff, right? Quickfire things of things that they've also said that they've improved is things like the IBIS, obviously the in-body image stabilization or the steady shot inside as Sony calls it. Great dynamic range, of course, which is something that they've always been good for, and also the low light performance, which is going to be insane and is still unmatched from the A7S II generation from previous. Better and improved color science, which is obviously much closer to the you know FX9 camera, which is already closer to the Sony Venice already. A much well and improved rolling shutter performance, thank goodness they've been able to fix that. And an EVF that is near enough almost double the quality of the best that we have right now at 9.44 million dots. And then on top of that, audio with cordless Mi or MI hot shoe interface for things like their XLR audio adapters, as well as other cordless mics from Sony. And I know for sure with how hyped and how vibed I am right now, I've probably missed something, but you know what, yeah? At this point, it doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. The UK pre-order price for body only, as you can see, is £3,799. And straight, I'm gonna say it with my chest as I do, for what you're getting, it's worth the asking price, for real. But it's, you know, I'm gonna calm down a bit. Let me vibe down. I'm gonna vibe down, right? It's gonna seem like I'm gonna be reaching a little bit here, but you know what? I've got to say some things that I'm personally and potentially concerned about. So, you know, people don't think that there's some concerns that, yo, he's been secretly just vibing off Sony, he's getting paid and he's overlooking stuff, right? Or he's getting shilled out as a Sony fanboy. No. 12 megapixels is not gonna be enough, and it's gonna be a point of concern for people that are looking to do some form of decent to serious photography work, right? Especially if you're looking to crop and reframe. Honestly, that's a fair critique. 12 megapixels is not enough, and if you're looking for a camera that is 24 megapixels or 20 megapixels and higher, hey, this camera is definitely not for you, chief. That ain't the one. 2, the bit rates in some of the 4K UHD recording modes, even though it's in the high efficiency video codec HEVC, H.265, 422 10-bit, does top out 100 megabits per second, which I would have thought at least it would be 200 megabits per second, but we'll have to see how that holds up. That's just something I just wanted to point out. I don't know how much of a big deal it will be. Thinking, what else? Maybe the expense of the CF Express A cards, the Type A cards, but honestly, at this point, I just feel like I'm reaching, and I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section below what your concerns are, because there is no brand loyalty here, right? And there's no bias, but as a hybrid camera, especially one that is more inviting for video, that is as good as it gets, this is what the Sony A7 III is bringing. You know what it is? It's almost like the magic of what the GH5 did back in 2017, but it's for this generation. Turned up to 11 on steroids, right? With no overheating issues as well in all the core modes as well. Like, guys, I don't know what else to say, right? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the announcement of the A7S III. It's going to be shipping to people end of September. We've got a little while, and we're going to have to obviously always wait for more real world tests in different variations. But man, oh man, oh man, Sony came out swinging, and they, I think personally, have created the 4K endgame camera, especially for hybrid cameras for this generation. And again, I'm signing out. You know what it is, man. Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy content like this, you know exactly what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss content that comes fresh off the press into your inbox. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.